We begin this hour with breaking news. An explosive lawsuit against the NFL tonight, filed by one of the few black coaches ever hired, Brian Flores, likening the NFL's operation to a plantation. Brian Flores, former Miami Dolphins coach, is suing the NFL and 3 franchises for racial discrimination. Flores says he thinks it's the only way to bring about change. Flores was up for a coaching job with the New York Giants and says he found out in a messed up text message by Bill Belichick, coach of the Patriots, that 3 days before he was interviewing for the job, they were giving it to another Brian. Now, the suit, intentionally filed on the first day of Black History Month, Flores calls the whole process a humiliating sham. Right now, there's only one black head coach in the NFL, but there's 32 teams, and Flores' law firm estimates 70% of the players are black. The lawsuit asks for an increase in the hiring influence of black people, more transparency in both hiring and firing decisions, and a concerted effort to bring in more black investors who can take majority ownership of more teams. Joining us now is Anthony Amey, our sports reporter here at BNC. Anthony, why did Brian Flores do a class action lawsuit against specifically the Giants, the Dolphins, and the Broncos?
Well, Nayyera and Kelly, it's good to be with you. The general reason, for the most part, is he wants to see change. Brian Flores is someone who, frankly, has overachieved in 3 seasons as a head coach with the Miami Dolphins. And you would think that he'd have a very bright future as a head coach in the National Football League, but he is saying with this lawsuit that, in essence, he's sacrificing his position and his possible future as a head coach in the NFL for the right to make things right in the future for future prospective head coaches and executives in the league. I'm just going to read a little bit of a statement from Brian Flores. He said, "God has gifted me with a special talent to coach the game of football, but the need for change is bigger than my personal goals. In making the decision to file the class action complaint today, I understand that I may be risking coaching the game that I love and that has done so much for my family and me. My sincere hope is that by standing up against systemic racism in the NFL, others will join me to ensure that positive change is made for generations to come." You mentioned the Rooney Rule, which requires NFL teams to interview minority candidates, not only for head coaching positions, but also front office positions, as well as coordinator jobs. And Nayyera, you mentioned there's only one black head coach in the NFL currently. Well, in 1989, Art Shell became the first black head coach in the modern era. That was one of 28 teams. We're now with 32 teams, as you mentioned a moment ago, just one head coach that is black, and that is Mike Tomlin of the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a shame, and in the words of Brian Flores, it's a sham.
And you know, Roger Goodell, the NFL commissioner, has stated before that the NFL has a lot of work to do and needs to diversify its head coaching positions with more people of color. Yet we have not seen the reality of that, and so now this bombshell of a class action suit against the NFL. You can only imagine what Goodell must be thinking and what everyone in the NFL community must be thinking in response to this. How do you think this plays out at a time when the NFL has been trying to actually be more proactive about social justice?
Kelly, great question. And I don't know if we can actually say on our network what those in the NFL offices were thinking when they received word of this lawsuit. But you mentioned some of the social justice messaging that the league has been prominently putting out, certainly over the last few years. And it is up to the 32 teams, the 31 owners. The Green Bay Packers are publicly owned. It's up to those teams and those teams' owners to determine the next steps. And this is Brian Flores, frankly, going scorched earth to ensure that the likelihood of that happening increases. Kelly, you mentioned that we're not seeing much progress in terms of head coaches. There have been 9 vacancies this offseason. 4 of them have been filled already. The Giants, Bears, Broncos, and Raiders, all 4 of them white men hired. And so there are still 5 vacancies: Miami, Houston, Jacksonville, Minnesota, and New Orleans. Flores was actually set to interview with New Orleans today. I'm not sure if that interview took place or not, but again, he is on the record stating that he knows that he could be sacrificing his career as he files this lawsuit against the league, which, by the way, the National Football League, you could make the argument that in its 102 seasons, the last 2 weeks were the best 2 weeks of games that we've ever seen. 49.6 million average was the average number of viewers who tuned in for the AFC and NFC championship games this past Sunday. And now here we are 2 days later talking about this, when the NFL would love for nothing more than for all of us to be talking about Super Bowl 56, which is coming up on February 13th in Inglewood, California.
And let's not forget, the Super Bowl now actually has some high-profile black celebrities singing, right? Yeah, this is part of Jay-Z's effort to help with social justice as part of the NFL. So what must they be thinking as they're preparing for their big halftime game moment? But I do want to bring in some of the details of this lawsuit because it gives us a window into what really happens in these corporate suites and the boardrooms. For example, apparently, Brian Flores, according to this lawsuit, was paid, or the owner said of the Dolphins said he would give him $100,000 for every game he lost. Brian was a winning coach, and the owner got mad that he won for them? Like, how does that make sense?
Yeah, so I mentioned they overachieved in his 3 seasons as a head coach. 2019, Brian Flores was thought to be taking over the worst roster in the NFL. The Miami Dolphins, many expected them to tank or to intentionally lose games so that they could corral the rights to the #1 overall pick in the next season's NFL draft, the 2020 NFL draft. And Stephen Ross, the Miami Dolphins owner, alleged by Brian Flores to have been offering to pay him $100,000 for every loss. The Dolphins won 5 games that season, ended up with the #5 pick overall. Just for context sake, the Bengals won the overall #1 pick. They had the worst record, and they were able to select Joe Burrow, who has led them to the Super Bowl in just his 2nd season. So the prize, though, interesting enough, that season was thought to be Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback at Alabama at the time, whom the Dolphins wound up drafting #5 overall anyway. And so it was an interesting way of going about it if you're the Dolphins owner, again, according to Brian Flores, if that is indeed what he offered. As far as what you were asking with the halftime show and the performances set for the Super Bowl, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar, among others, Mary J. Blige. It would be interesting and curious to know exactly what they're thinking as all of this is coming about, as we're receiving this news here again a week and a half before the NFL's biggest showcase and one of the biggest sports showcases in the world.
Yeah, especially when they're given to being very outspoken about social justice matters and definitely stating that Black Lives Matter. It would be interesting to see what happens. But look, in terms of Brian Flores, does he still have a future in the NFL? Because he's going against a behemoth with this lawsuit. He, as you said, was set to interview for the vacant New Orleans head coaching job. But that notwithstanding, what happens to his future with this lawsuit? Because you go back to what happened with, in terms of what happened with Colin Kaepernick to see how that played out, and no team has ever hired him, and he's still capable of playing.
Kelly, Colin Kaepernick is 34 years old. He just turned 34 in November. He's absolutely capable of playing. And I reminded folks of this on our network yesterday, actually. Colin Kaepernick, it was just 9 years ago when Colin Kaepernick led the San Francisco 49ers to Super Bowl 47 in New Orleans, and he played very well in that game, threw for over 300 yards, threw for a touchdown, ran for a touchdown in that game. And as you said, he has not stepped foot on a football field since leaving the 49ers. His last game was New Year's Day 2017. It remains to be seen what will happen with Brian Flores, but as we mentioned in that statement, he is suggesting he's fully aware that he could be sacrificing his future as a head coach in the NFL. But keep in mind, with this lawsuit, the NFL, I'm not a lawyer. I have no idea what the mindset might be for the league at this point, but it wouldn't be a stretch, I don't think, to say that the league would want this to go away as soon as possible. Brian Flores very well could be in line for millions of dollars in this lawsuit, considering he may well have coached the team to 6 or 7 Super Bowls, like the guy that he coached under in New England, Bill Belichick. Nayyera mentioned those text messages, which will be damning in court or in this legal process. We don't know what Brian Flores could have done. As we said, he overachieved in Miami. The Dolphins, the last 2 years, won 19 games. They had back-to-back winning seasons for the first time since 2002 and 2003. So who knows how good of a coach this guy could have become. And he's saying he might not have that opportunity as a result of this. The Fritz Pollard Alliance is an organization that was established to, in essence, hold the NFL's feet to the fire, to ensure that it would have practices in place to fairly identify and interview qualified candidates for head coaching positions. You can bet the Fritz Pollard Alliance and its executive director, Rod Graves, is going to have something to say about this in very short order, and we will certainly be paying attention.
Anthony Amey, our sports anchor here at BNC, thank you for covering this story for us tonight.